If you want to build your dream body once and for all, take all the hard work, the guesswork, the confusion out of fitness and health, I'm here to help you one-on-one with my online coaching service. So no matter where you are in the world, no matter what equipment you have, what history, obstacles, I'm going to be there to help you smash through them and build your dream body. If you want to work with me one-on-one, DM me on Instagram, the keyword coach, to @colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT to get started. Now into the episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm on the microphone.
Today we got 10 simple tips for a fitter, healthier, and happier life. I love these episodes because it just gives me some time to reflect and really just share what's been working for me personally to live a fitter, healthier, and happier life, and some of the big movers, not only that's worked for me, actually, that's also worked for my clients. So happy to share that today. I'm guarantee you will learn something. Make sure to stick to the end because we got some killer tips there. But without further ado, I'm going to jump into my first tip, which is to dream big, but start small. And I love this line of thinking because I'm definitely a dreamer. Like, I'm someone who, when I envision something, I see the start and I see the finish. I don't really think about the in-between too much. And that's just how my mind works, for better or for worse, because sometimes maybe I'll bite off more than I can chew. But also I think a little bit of delusion of grandeur allows you to achieve big things, because I truly believed, like, from when we first started YouTube, that it was going to be the biggest thing ever, that we'd be successful with it, that we'd be able to help thousands of people. And I think at the time people thought it was silly because we just didn't have that track record. We're getting like 10 views a video. We didn't even have a client at the time. Then we'd have a couple clients. But all in all, I think that self-belief was huge. And I've took these steps where I would do small little steps consistently to build progress. And before you know it, you'd build momentum, and that snowball would get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's amazing to see the impact we have now. And just know that that started from thinking big, dreaming big, but starting small. Whereas I know some people dream big and start overly big. And we've spoken about how this isn't always the most realistic or sustainable. And that can cause you to burn out, not reach your goals, and not get where you want. So any big goal you have, write it down, think it through, but start with small actionable steps to get there. And then once you achieve those, set some more, and then just continue that process. And before you know it, you'll be amazed with what you can achieve.
Yeah, that's so well said. Like, I think of myself and what motivates me, and it always comes down to just setting that massive goal. I find, like, when I set small little dinky goals that won't really move the needle, it doesn't push me as much, right? So know what type of person you are, but I'd say most people will benefit from this. And even with the action plan, I know that if I try to jump into a million different things, I'm going to get overwhelmed and it's not going to work. So I absolutely love that as tip number one. So next up, I want you to focus on the rule of 5. So there's been numerous studies out there showing that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. This is one of the easiest fixes to improving every single part of your life, is just getting around people that are going to push you, that are going to motivate you, and not bring you down. So I find there's just a bunch of different ways, whether you join different groups, you connect with people at the gym that you notice are consistently there. Maybe you reach out to even past friends that you notice are on different paths that are motivating. I really encourage you to spend time and think about, who is it that I'm hanging out with? Are they bringing me down? Are they encouraging me? Are they bringing me up? And this is going to be one of the greatest things that's just going to simply make you fitter, healthier, and happier if you're hanging out with people who are at your level or even better and actually pushing you.
Yeah, and it can be hard to rework perhaps some friend circles or radically change this one overnight. And you may be like, hey, this sounds great, but this isn't very helpful to me. But once again, like, if your friends, for instance, like if you want to be really fit and all of your friends are really unfit, whenever you see them, they're pulling you away from that. Like, on average, you'd probably be, I would guess, you'd feel more of a push to not be as fit because everyone's unfit, right? When you go out, people are probably over ordering. They'll probably make fun of you if you don't over order. So it's not to say you can't have those friends, but you might want to acknowledge, like, this is a little bit of something I'm lacking here. And that's an opportunity for you to find other sources of motivation. So having a one-on-one coach, someone on your side who actively is there to combat against that and help build you up in those situations, listening to this podcast perhaps before you go out, having other fitness friends as well, like, all these things can help. And just on the plus side, like, there are some people I know where if you have 4 friends that are just killing it and they're crushing it and they're all doing extremely well, naturally you're going to feel more of a push to, like, make make more, do more, and do better. And once again, you can't always control these factors, but I do find you can read more books, listen to more audiobooks, start to make new friends. I really love Kyle's point too. Like, if you notice someone's killing it, be like, hey, I'd love to, we haven't connected in a while, but I'd love to take you out for a coffee. Pick their brain, because you can really get inspired even just from new ways of thinking, people that are positive, people that are doing something that you want to do. You can learn a lot by how they got there and what they did. And I find anytime I go to like a business conference, I just get so fired up and I want to just act, like take action all over the place. And it really just rejuvenates me. So analyze that group of 5, see if you can build on it. And this is a huge one too, because like I said, if you're the least fit person in your friend group, naturally that's going to make you just get up and get going and get motivated to go, which is absolutely amazing. And then next up, and this is a big one in my opinion, is actually seeing self-care as a non-negotiable. So I don't just mean like something that would be good to do or something that you'd like to do, something that you will do no matter what, like something you refuse to not do, like showing up for an appointment, or something that you hold in really high regard, like something that you absolutely would refuse to not do. And when you reframe it and say, this is something that needs to get done in the day, I need to be active, I need to take some time to meditate or to be alone in my thoughts or to decompress. Sleep needs to be a priority as well. This will radically change everything, because unfortunately, I know too many people that are too busy to go to the gym. They'll say they're not able to do all these things, but they'll be on the golf course 3 times a week. They'll be at the bar a couple times. And it's like, this is where you need to say, this is a priority. It's something I need to get done. Similar to work, you'll show up to work. Just say, I'm going to show up for myself to get to the gym a realistic amount of times. I'm going to get to bed on time. I'm going to eat healthy food. And that's not to say you won't ever mess up, but when it's a priority, you'll naturally find your way back to it, and you'll really make sure that this is a priority in your life. And once you do that, that's when the results really start to stack up. So stop putting it aside at the expense of everything else, your social life and all these other events, and instead say, hey, this is a priority in my life. I will take care of myself, because I love this analogy, but when an airplane's going down, they tell you got to put your own oxygen mask on before everyone else's, because if you don't, you're not only going to run out of oxygen, they are too. So you need to take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, you really just focus on self-care and you're your best version of yourself. That's going to help you bring up other people, be more present, be a better worker, be better in your family, be better socially. Like, you're just going to reflect at a better level from that.
Yeah, and speaking of reflection, number 4, I really genuinely believe we all need to have weekly check-ins. Whatever that means for you, simply put, taking time to reflect on the week, what went well, what didn't go well, where could you have done better, what were some wins throughout the week. Every Sunday, I really believe most people, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, sit outside if it's nice out and just reflect. Think about the week. And you can take in a bunch of different spins. So for us, we have different checkpoints, Josh and myself. Every Sunday we'll send, it's called a rhythm register. So basically, this is something we've done for years. I drifted off and didn't do it for a bit. And I'm like, man, some of the habits, like I need to get back to it. And I find it so beneficial to share how many workouts did I do? Did I hit my steps every day? I'll even put in how many YouTube shorts I uploaded, like different metrics for the business, but also for my personal life. I'll send that over. I'll send my spreadsheet every week to make sure that my weigh-ins are good. I've hit my numbers accordingly. This is something we've done for years. And even within our coaching program, every single weekend, we'll touch base with our coaching clients. We'll double check how the strength is gone, how the nutrition's going, any questions they have. We'll set goals. And we have that check-in just to reflect. Reflection is one of the greatest ways to improve, because you start to see what's working and what's not working. And when you realize things aren't working, you make adjustments from that. When you realize things are working, you just keep doing it and doubling down. So once again, this has been our bread and butter for our coaching clients. For over 10 years, we've done check-ins every single weekend. They're very personalized. They're one-on-one. We send videos back and forth. And there's a reason we do it. It's because it helps people stay accountable, and we can make changes for the following week based off of the reflections and lessons we've learned. So with that, if you are looking to get to the next level in your journey, have someone hold you accountable, make changes, who actually genuinely cares, all you have to do is message me the keyword coach to Instagram at colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT. You'll be able to get coached by me one-on-one, results fully guaranteed, and I can't wait to hear from you.
Next up, this is probably one of my favorite ones, and it's something I'm still working on, but that is overgiving, or just being extremely generous in your life. And I remember I listened to an audiobook while back, and the individual, I believe it was Grant Cardone at the time, but he spoke about just give, or over giving. Maybe Gary Van, I can't remember, and then a common objection to that was, well, if you're just giving all the time, people are going to take advantage of you. And the rebuttal to that was, usually when you give so much, like if you know someone that's always giving to you, it makes you uncomfortable almost, because you're like, I want to give back to them. Like I want to do something nice for them as well. So we don't give obviously out of expectation of getting something back, but if that's what's holding you back, where you think people will use you, like I don't think that's a great way to think about it. But anytime I push myself and I've like given more than was comfortable, whether it be my time, financially, whatever it is, I've never regretted it, because it's felt so rewarding. It's felt amazing. It's always nice helping other people too, just like on a basic level. Like giving naturally just makes you feel good. It makes you feel more inspired, whether, like I said, it's your time, your finances, your expertise, your mentorship, whatever it may be. It really is a great feeling. And I think, as funny as it sounds, like, because this is to help you live a fitter, healthier, and happier life, you'd say, like, I don't have time for anything else, let alone giving. But you'd be amazed, even just taking some time, doing something kind. It could be a tiny act of giving, it could be a big act of giving. But in general, the more you can inject more generosity into your life, the better you'll feel.
Yeah, honestly, 100% agree. Something like Josh said, I need to even get better at, but it feels so incredible. Just even one small thing a day can definitely pay off and benefit so many people as well as yourself. But next up is just simply not being afraid to fail. And before we started this podcast, Josh had a great example of just like volleyball, for example. Some people will be like, I suck at volleyball, I can't do it. And they'll just never try. You never realize like how good you can get and how much fun some things can be until you try, until you fail, until you're even not good at something. Like for me personally, I'm not a biggest fan of trying something and not being good at it, but I've had to put my ego aside over the years to get to that point of trying new things and be like, you know what? I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm going to give it a shot. And it's always worth it. Like I would say very rarely do I ever regret it, but I hear from a lot of people like who, for example, let's just say, oh, my cardio sucks, I'm not going to do this specific thing, or I haven't played in years, I'm not going to be good, what's the point? A lot of people are afraid to fail. They're afraid of, it's more than anything, I think it's our ego of not wanting that to get in the way, right? So for example, if you used to be really strong, you'd be like, oh, well, I don't want to get back into lifting heavy because I used to be stronger. You may not say it out loud, but very often subconsciously, we have a lot of these thoughts. Once again, it's our ego typically getting in the way, but in order to get better, you will need to fail over and over again. And that's going to be one of the hardest truths for a lot of people to realize. The fittest, healthiest, and happiest people, they're not afraid of failing. And when they do fail, similar to my talk before, you reflect. What went wrong? Where could I have done better? You keep moving, and failure is a part of the process. So that is going to be number 6 for today.
Yeah, and reframing in your mind, like it sounds so scary accepting failure and seeing failure as good. And I know in particular, like let's say you sign up for a 10K, you might have thought like, what if I don't finish? Everyone's going to judge me. I'm going to get made fun of. Like realistically, no one would care. They'd be like, oh, that's awesome for you for trying. You'd be like, I didn't get it this time, I'm going to get it next time. Or powerlifting meet, it doesn't go how you want to go. Like it really isn't a big deal. And that's the only way you allow yourself to learn. And like Kyle said, the more you just protect your ego and just say, ooh, I can't fail if I don't try anything. That's how you don't actually advance forward. And I think it's really cool having like a baby and a toddler, because it's amazing seeing them try all these new things and try to like move their bodies in different ways and play different sports and stand up and learn to walk. And they don't care that they fail. Like they just keep trying. And that's why like as kids, you're a sponge. You learn so much, you grow, you really learn what you like. And I think people will lose that and they'll default only to what makes them comfortable as an adult. And that'll make you hold yourself back from a lot of things. And I know for a lot of people, the gym is like that obstacle, right? It's like, I don't want to go in there. I don't know the culture. I'm not super fit already. So like, I'm not going to do that. And I'm only going to do like classes, or I'm only going to run. And I know that's a common thing that will happen. But when you face that fear and you're like, okay, this isn't so bad. Maybe use a machine wrong once and then you learn how to do it right. It really isn't a big deal. And like this truly is one of the biggest tips of this episode. Like the more you can be comfortable with failure and the more you can use it as a tool to say, it's going to give me lessons, it's going to be a tool in my toolkit to help me learn, the more it's going to be to your advantage. But My next tip, and this is a happy one, is to own your things and not let your things own you. It's so easy just to hoard stuff. And even I actively make an effort to try to have a minimalistic home and be aware of what I own and be on top of it. And it's funny because I've been really lucky where Kyle has like free garbage pickup. So sometimes I'll give him like random things I can't get rid of because the city I live in won't do it compared to his, which is pretty funny. But anyways, I had this baby gate I bought in Florida, and it was like $60, but I needed it at the time when we were living in Florida through the winter. And then I brought it home because I'm like, okay, I might use it one day. And it was funny, I was telling my wife, because I've had this gate now for like 2 years in my baby's room, just like there, just like clutter, garbage. And every day I thought, oh, I should use it or I should get rid of it. And it's like, not every day, but it just wore on me, right? Like that thing owned me. I didn't own it. And I was worried. And at the time I should have just said it served its purpose. It's fine. I'll leave it here for the next person to use, or I'll get rid of it, or I'll donate it. But here we are like 2 years later. It's just unfortunately garbage because I'm probably missing some of the pieces. But in general, I think it's good to really just be critical of what you own and be like, is this something I need? And if not, can I donate it, sell it, whatever it may be? It's a great opportunity to do that. And it's funny, my cousin actually, it's not so much funny, it's a little bit sad, but I think it all worked out. I don't know, he does something. He was in like Africa or something like that for Doctors Without Borders, and he had all his stuff in my other cousin's house, and the house burned down. And he said all of his possessions burned down. It was like such a shock to him because he's like, I own nothing. But he said at the same time it was kind of freeing starting from nothing. And it's funny, I was talking to my wife about it after. I was like, I'm almost kind of jealous of that. And she's like, I had that weird feeling too. Not because I hate my stuff and I'd be horribly upset if my house got burned down, but it is nice, like thinking like, oh, we could start fresh with like get all new clothes or get things I really like or really value what I like. And it's funny, in the past, I've done exercises with like my favorite possessions, and it's nothing complicated. And it's nothing that couldn't necessarily be replaced. Obviously keepsakes or something, but I think in general, being intentional with what you have, making sure everything has a purpose, and being critical with it too, to have nice space and clarity and a home that reflects that. And obviously, as I've been reading this book, this has been on mind, and it feels good getting rid of stuff too, right? Whether you're donating it and seeing someone else appreciate it. For me, I'll hand down a lot of t-shirts that I've worn or clothing that I haven't worn to my brother, and it makes him so happy, and then he'll give it to someone else. And such a cool process, like seeing that go on. Whereas sometimes there's something in your closet, you don't wear it, you don't like it, your closet just gets over jammed, and you're thinking, I need to wear all these clothes or they don't fit me or whatever, and you're hoping magically it'll fit you again or something. But I think it's better just to tackle it, not let these things own you, not let them stress you out. And we've used examples too, like sometimes toys, like you had a jet ski you haven't used in a few years, and you see it and you're like, oh, I need to take it out, but you don't. So this is a big thing. So the more you can just be intentional of this, is an easy way to be happier and have more clarity.
I shared with Josh last week as we were talking about that book, my motorcycle that I used to have, I never used it. And although I loved it, I just kept thinking every time I'd step out there, you think of the insurance you're paying for and the use that you're not getting out of it and how much you spent. And like, I'm just like, man, it's actually stressing me out. Like there's a lot of things you may not realize. And this is like one of the things I need to get better at between this and overgiving, as Josh is talking about. I'm like, man, I need to hit the reset button and do more of this stuff as well. But a lot of people don't realize subconsciously how it can slow you down in the morning. You're having to try to find things, you keep thinking about things, and just a good reminder, like it does often cause stress and could make you unhappy for sure. So I really, really like this one personally. But number 8, this is something I'm so passionate about, is just keeping the promises you say to yourself. And I know so many people, they've lost all hope in themselves. They said, this is the week I'm going to the gym. They don't go to the gym. This is the week I'm going to start with my diet. It never ends up happening. The main way to gain confidence is to follow through with what you say you're going to do. I know so many people whose confidence is just really low and they're consistently struggling with it. The truth is, I used to be like this. If you go back in time, maybe 10 years ago, I was walking around a skinny dude. I'm not the most jacked right now, but I'd say my confidence is significantly better. Not from obviously going to the gym has helped, but it's because I try to do what I say I'm going to do. When I say I'm going to show up at a certain time, I'll be there. When I say I'm going to hit the gym, I'm going to do it. When I say I'm going to get a podcast out or a YouTube video or an Instagram post, I follow through with it 99% of the time, at least, or higher. And this is, once again, the reason so many people struggle on their journey to becoming fitter, healthier, and happier is because they say they're going to do something, and then somehow, some way, something gets in the way, and they don't end up doing it. So practice this. When you say you're going to do it, stop, think about it, take action. I promise you, you will be a completely different person if you stick to this. And this is such an important thing that a lot of people miss out on.
Yeah, nailed that one. Like the more you can just consistently do these things and take yourself seriously, when you set these big, crazy, scary goals, you start to believe like, hey, I could make this happen. I could get this going. But my final tip for you here is to plan the day before it starts. And this is something I've been really working hard on doing better. I've been trying to like start to tentatively plan the next day out. And this is like a nighttime routine. Everyone loves morning routines. They're amazing. I swear to death by morning routines. They're great. But a nighttime routine is really powerful too, because it gives you an exact action plan. Like when you get up, you're like, okay, I know what I'm getting at. I know what my calendar is like tomorrow. I know my main tasks, what I'm going to be focusing on in the morning. And it gives you some clarity. And even you can take it a step further, laying out clothes for the next day. And you can remove some of those barriers to entry. Like, and when you wake up, you're like, I know what my clothes are. I know what I'm doing. And it feels really good. So I think the more you can start to map that out, pre-log your food, like being ahead is just always such a better feeling than just being on track or being behind. So why not take advantage of that? Take 5 minutes at night, check out, know what your priorities are for tomorrow, tidy things up, get it reset and ready for the next day.
Well said. And as we're just finishing off the day, the last and one of the most important things is no phone in bed. I know so many people who will sit there before bed scrolling. They'll wonder why they had a bad sleep. Even when you think about it, like this is something I learned a very long time ago. And it was just like, what you do before bed is often even like what you dream about. Like I remember when I'd watch like a crazy show, I'd have a bad sleep just because that's what was on the top of my mind, like while I'm sleeping or dreaming or whatever it is. And if you're someone who's consistently scrolling, you're comparing yourself as well, you're checking out Instagram, seeing what everyone else is up to, and even just getting the blue light right before bed, it's definitely a good rule to just turn it off and just not put it anywhere near your bed. And I personally actually keep it in a different room, just because I find like I am pretty addicted to my phone, and it's nice to like know that it's not even in the room and it's completely in a different room. And when my alarm goes off, it actually forces me to get up like right away instead of just like pressing the snooze button right beside. So there's a whole bunch of different benefits from this, but I'd really recommend not having your phone beside you or in bed at all. Now, with that, just want to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. Make sure to share this episode if you enjoyed it. Spend time thinking about which tip you're going to implement and take action on it right away. If you are looking to get to the next level on your fitness journey, get guaranteed results, just message us coach to Instagram at colossusfit, colossusfit, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.